recorded for stakeholder convenience, allowing those who are unable to attend to listen to the recordings after the meetings. The recordings will be publicly available on the ISO webpage for a limited time following the meetings. The recordings and any related transcriptions should not be reprinted without ISO permission. Also, I would like to remind everyone that when you join the meeting, you would be muted by default. So please do not forget to unmute yourself if you're asking any questions. Also, I think you can press *6 from your phone to mute, unmute toggle for WebEx. Today on agenda, we will talk about map stage availability, different fall release market simulation initiatives and timelines. We'll go into the known issues for ADS. We'll talk again about the troubleshooting tips to access ADS that we discussed in the last meeting. We'll also discuss known issues for DRRS master file, and we'll kind of reminder for the DRRS UI upgrade features that are upcoming. Then we'll talk about each of the initiatives for fall release, and then we'll talk about the next steps. Fall release map stage availability can also be checked directly on portalmap.kaiser.com. There are no activities right now for maintenance in map stage currently. Upcoming map stage maintenance is DRRS UI and API brief interruption on 14th of August. Also, CMRI UI for upgrade. It will be a brief interruption on the same day. ADS UI and master file database brief interruption on 21st of August. CMRI UI and API for the deployment of fall 2020 release on 28th of August. Our general maintenance window is on Friday, but currently there are no maintenance scheduled other than that are listed here on the upcoming map stage maintenance. This week, we completed automated dispatch system replacement project market structured scenarios, dispatch operating tariff clarification structured scenarios, and FERC order number 841 requested adjustment. The settlement processing for this project is in progress. Due to some data issues, we will not be publishing any settlement statements for 11th of August. And if you are facing any concerns in getting the results for any of the structured scenarios, please send us an email on marketsim@kaiser.com and create a CD ticket. And we will try to deploy those cases right now during the week or on 18th of August. We have one full day. On that day, we'll also have settlement statements published for that. And we can do any remaining scenarios or any scenarios with any market participant concerns. Market simulation plan is also available on the following link. These are the known issues in ADS, and most of them are fixed. The one that is open, as discussed in the last meeting also, we don't have a timeline on when this one will be fixed. The number 4, continuous alarm change to repeat every X seconds. The recommended is 5 seconds. And the 7th one, the trajectory grid shrinks. Grid auto resize does not work properly. We are still working on it. Estimated fixed date is 21st of August. Troubleshooting tips to access ADS. Check your firewall settings. Clear the browser cache and cookies. Pop-up blockers on your browser may lead to issue accessing KaiSo ADS. If you use pop-up blocker, you must whitelist the KaiSo domain, kaiso.com. Do we have any issues on any more issues that we don't know about the customers you're facing for accessing ADS? Please let us know. You can let us know right now. I will pause for a moment.
Yes, this is Justin Wolf from Pacific Corp. I'm trying to troubleshoot an access issue for ADS. For some reason, I am getting a TLS security error. I've contacted my IT trying to see if this is an internal issue. I can access the ADS from outside of our corporate domain since I'm working from home. I can access from outside the domain, but on our internal network, it seems to be having an issue. And unfortunately, our IT has not been able to sufficiently help me work through this. Is there any other way I can get some, validation that it is an internal issue so we can force our IT to continue troubleshooting?
Can you please confirm that your IT has gone through the troubleshooting tips that are listed here?
They are, yes. So the firewall settings, I've asked if those addresses are blocked. They said the KaiSo domain is not being blocked. I've done all the browser cache and cookies actually reset completely on my computer, and there are no pop-up blockers.
Okay. Anyone from KaiSo wants to pitch in for any more ideas on this topic?
Hey, Anshuman, this is Firdaus again here. Hey, Justin, we talked about this issue this morning also in our meeting, and our PM took an action item to contact you directly. So we are working on it, and hopefully you will see an communication soon, and maybe from then we can go from there.
All right, thank you.
Hi, Ashman. This is Chen Yu from PG&E. I do have a question about the August 18, the remaining scenarios. So you mentioned that if any scenario fails, then we can use August 18 as the trade date to test any of those three initiatives then has been tested?
That is correct. August 18th is the day when we will do settlements. We'll process settlements for that particular trade day. But since ADS project does not have any impact on settlements, we can do those scenarios even today, tomorrow, or any other day.
I see. So for FERC Order 841, there is the settlements. So unfortunately, we will not be able to see the settlement statements until August 18. For that, I just want to let you know that we won't be able to probably see it until the 19th because KaiSo published it takes a little time to download and then we access to it. So it has to have another, the future trade days if we find any issues. Just want to let you know that it's not doable to re-execute any settlement statements on the 18th because we won't be able to see the result until probably the 19th. This is specific for settlements.
Right. That is correct. FERC 841 has a settlements impact. So if you're registered, we did perform scenarios for FERC 841. We did make the market setup, and you will see the results when the settlement processing is done. And if we have concerns during that time, then we can talk about if we have any additional days to redo this testing.
Right. Thank you.
Any more questions on the ADS replacement project?
Chris Van Vact with SE. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, we would like a settlement statement for 811 if you can still publish it. Just because ultimately what this does do, could impact our vendor's timeline to getting us a release. This is kind of like building up to a moment of getting everything validated, and there are, as Cheng, you mentioned, some settlement impacts to that day.
Well, we were planning to not publish the settlements data for 811 because we had some data issues. You would be getting settlement statement for 12th of August. Is that something that you can work with?
Okay, can you hear me now? Sorry, I can't tell if I'm muted or not. Well, so I think we wanted to validate the structured scenario there. So that ends up being part of the problem.
Right, so the structured scenarios we performed on 11th of August was for ADS project, which does not have any settlements impact. If you do want to validate settlement statement for scenarios on ADS, please send us an email of which scenarios you want to test again, and we can do it on 18th of August, which that's the day when we'll publish settlements data for too. Chris, I think you're on mute again.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I think you're back on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay, I'll go take a look and see if we need anything. I think I sent you a note already about wanting the settlement statement for 11, but we'll do that. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
Hi, this is Isaac from SCE. So just wanted to kind of follow up on that. On our side, the ADS replacement project scenarios, all three of them, we were not able to completely validate on August 11th. So actually, we would like the ISO to rerun those scenarios for SCE, as well as we would like to have more realistic scenarios being dispatched for the three structure scenarios. So far, the ones that we have received have been, they're not really in line with how we would see those dispatches in real life scenarios. So we would like to work with CAISO on building a more realistic dispatch for each one of those three structure scenarios.
Thank you, Isaac, and please feel free to submit the bids, to match what results you're looking for, and we'll try to get those resources dispatched, as per your bids. Also, as we discussed earlier, we're planning to perform those structured scenarios for you today. But as I said earlier, we won't be publishing settlement statements for today. So if that's not a factor, we could definitely run the scenarios today and get back the results to you.
Okay. If the reason is because of the way we bid in those resources, then we would like some feedback on those, especially for the resources that we have registered for these scenarios.
Right. So for ADS replacement project, due to some system issues, we couldn't perform the scenario number 2 on August 11th. So we performed that particular scenario number 2, on August 12th, running an RTCD and getting you a non-spin startup. Now, to set up for that scenario, you should be submitting expensive energy bids and cheap non-spin bids so that market recognizes that and does not dispatch the unit earlier than when we ran an RTCD. If the unit is already online, we cannot send a startup instructions even with RTCD. We will dispatch the contingent non-spin capacity, but we will not be sending a startup for if the unit is already online.
Okay, it sounds like we have to revise the way we bid in these resources then. Does the same comment go for scenario number 3 for the AS test? Because we also received the dispatch we got for that scenario is that we received a AS test for a resource that's already online, and that is typically not how we would receive unannounced AS instructions verbally by the ISO. Typically, they're used for peaker units that are offline, offering non-spin, and we would then have to start up the resource to meet the non-spin test. And we were looking to simulate a scenario where we would get the startup instruction, during this AS test period for that particular resource. So is there anything that we need to do bid-wise to reflect that?
Let me check with my SMEs. Is anybody from Kaiser side wants to pitch in on this particular scenario of what will be the optimal way to bid in for this? All right, Isaac, I don't think our SME is online right now. So what we'll do is we'll talk with our SMEs and I'll send out an email to you of how we can simulate this particular scenario so that we could complete this testing today or tomorrow.
Great, thanks.
All right, any more questions on this ADS replacement project or DOTT project? That is also completed. I hope everybody received a operating instruction and a follow DOT flag for dispatches. All right, moving on. These are the known issues for DRRS and master file. Advanced filter input controls do not automatically close as the user is clicking from one control to another, causing the controls to stack on top of each other. The application disconnection, connection icon, and its respective display text are not in sync. When the application is disconnected caused by a timeout, the text displays as connected, where it should display as disconnected. When the application reconnects, the icon does not display as connected. While there is an issue with the visual feedback, the application functionality is not impacted. And then there is one issue for the GRDT file version 13 errors. And we're recommending that please use fall 2020 release GRDT version 14. Any questions on this?
Yes, hi Ashman, this is Chunyu. I thought we also opened some tickets on the 5th about the GRDT. It's too large to upload. We have 2 tickets on this. Are they also impact other users? Is this no issue, or is that you think it's only happened to PG&E?
Let me check with my SMEs. Is anybody from Kaiser side can pitch in to answer this question?
Let me know if you need a CD ticket number.
I think we don't have our SMEs right now on the call. We have the CD number. We'll get back to you and have a response to you soon.
Thank you.
Hello, this is Sandra Morris from SMUD. I had a question on the ADS project. I'm sorry I couldn't unmute fast enough. I did not see an instruction for the resource I had registered. Do you know what trade date I should be looking on?
The DOTT project was performed on 12th of August, and can assure that we had the dispatch out, but if you are having problems looking at the results of that dispatch, please let us know, and we can try to perform that project to that particular scenario again. Again, DOTT project also does not have any settlements impact, so that can be done today also or tomorrow.
Okay, thank you. Let me dig in a little bit more and see if I can see that. Would I still be able to see that date in the ADS application in MapStage? Can I query that date?
You should be able to use the query tool to get the data for that date.
Okay,
if,
cool.
My SMEs for ADS wants to add some other tips, please go ahead.
I will go ahead and pull it up right now. So thank you very much. I'll let you know if I'll send you guys an email if I can't find it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any more questions on this? Okay, moving on. So this is kind of a reminder that the DRRS UI Upgrade feature that are coming in. And this slide actually lists everything, but I like the other slide, which actually shows you how the current production pre-fall 2020 release DRRS looks like and what are the upgrades that are coming in. So if you can see, like, these arrows have been moved to like this. The apply and reset buttons have been moved. Some button changes here for create, copy, delete, and some row sizing changes. As we discussed, ADS replacement project was completed on August 11th. We are not publishing settlement statement for that particular day. But if you need to see settlement statement, and please let us know. We will perform the scenarios on August 18th if you need us to perform the scenarios. And then you can have settlement statements for August 18th. Also, the scenario number 2 for this project was performed on 12th of August, and we are publishing settlement statements for that day. Dispatch operating target tariff clarification project. The structured scenarios were performed on 12th of August. They are complete. And if you need any help or if you have any concerns regarding the results of the structured scenario testing, please let us know. And since this project does not have any settlements impact, we can even rerun the scenarios for you during today or tomorrow or on Monday. For order number 841, requested adjustments. We have done the market setup for 12th of August trade date. The settlements processing is in progress right now. Energy storage and distributed energy resources phase 3. We discussed last time that we needed some setup for this. The PDR LSR curtailment, if market participant wants to see only energy award, then submit very cheap energy bids. If market participant wants to see AS awards, say spin, submit very expensive energy bids and $0 spin bid. For PDR LSR consumption, avoid submitting large negative energy bids. Suggested bid around -$1. Now, if you have registered for this project, you should have received a confirmation email from our side that your resources have been registered. If you haven't registered, please contact us and let us know, and we can make sure that your resource is registered correctly. Energy Imbalance Market Enhancement 2020. We had a slight timeline change for this project. We are still testing. We broke this project into 2 phases. First phase is going to be delivered and available for testing or running the structured or not, the unstructured scenarios by August 31. That's phase 1. And phase 2 will be available on 21st of September. Since we are talking about this project, let me just give more information about the 2 phases. On the first phase, we have the following functionality that will be delivered and available for unstructured testing on 31st of August. And then phase 2 will be available on 21st of September. Any questions on this? All right, moving on. Commitment cost and default energy bid enhancement is open, and we are welcoming any unstructured testing between July 27 to September 4th. Commitment cost enhancement tariff clarification. Our system is open. Please go ahead and do any unstructured testing till September 4th. Market settlement timeline transformation. This project structured scenarios will be performed on August 25th. The MSTT cutover will be performed on 8/24, corresponds to production day of 1/1/21. Phase 2 structured scenarios will be performed. For the first settling trade day will be 25th of August. Documentation is provided on the following link. Actions behind the meter production. Structured scenarios will be performed on August 25th. The timeline is to perform the scenarios till September 18. There are a few points to set up the environment correctly for this particular project. Market participant needs to submit meter data by 28th of August for initial and 2nd of September for recalc statement. MSTT cutover, again, as we discussed in the last project, is cutover trade day is 24th of August, corresponding to production trade day of 1/1/21. Phase 2, MSTT and access behind the meter production. Structured scenarios, first settling trade day is 25th of August. The structured scenario documentation is available on the following link. Any questions on this? All right, moving on. The next call will be on August 17 at 2 p.m. Now I will open the floor for any more questions if any market participant has any. All right. Thank you for joining the call. We'll see you back again on August of 17th. Thank you.